I'm actually going to reuse that part because it was built so right.
What about this?
Can you reuse that? You do realize that was specifically engineered. That's where you lift up the car. That's where the lift point would be, right there. That's why it's so boxed in.
Oh,
everything was thought through.
Oh, you can bolt the body down right here.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be back to work on our 1966 Ford Mustang. So in today's video, what I want to do is actually get this body fully mounted to this stand right here, so we can go ahead and start working. And I want to go ahead and get all the measurements for the body right, so we can get all the distances, and we'll probably weld some support brackets from here to there, so that once we get our new suspension from our Corvette that we're getting from Lee C Car Parts, we can go ahead and start lining everything up under there. And I probably want to go ahead and start lining up all the quarter panels, get all the body panels on the car, pretty much get the entire car ready to go, which just needs a frame. Because last time we were having a little issue, I didn't really set up the car properly, and the car would move around and I'd have issues building the frame. So pretty much what I want to do is go ahead and go to the steel store. We need to grab a couple of pieces of metal. I want to grab some steel tubing, so that way we can line the body up perfectly and then weld it across right here and weld it across up front, so the body is perfectly nice and uniformly straight. So once we do start designing, and I do have a better design for the frame, and it's gonna be a lot more simpler than the 2015. As you can see, it's a lot thicker and it's a lot bigger, beefier, and the Corvette suspension is a lot narrower because the car is a lot shorter, and it's going to help out a lot with all that. And this new suspension setup we're getting is going to come with the frame rail sections from the actual Corvette, so it's going to be a lot easier to attach it to the frame. So guys, before we do any type of bracing on this body, I want to go ahead and get some of this rust off, because as you can see, this car was sitting outside. It was under a cover, but it still got a little surface rust, because all this is right here is rust, or it's weld through primer. So what we need to do is head over to the store, get some rust treatment, and spray everything down. So we're probably going to head over to O'Reilly's and see if they have any rust treatment. Guys, check out this sick little jet ski. Little brother Nate is building it. And then I have my smart car right here. Honestly, right now it's kind of just like a lawn ornament, and I think a meteorite hit the windshield, but I don't know what to do with it, guys. I'm honestly thinking about just scrapping it. Maybe we can do something. Maybe somebody needs a smart car.
Shoot.
Or if anybody needs any parts, hit me up and we'll give you something.
Anyone needs smart car parts? That vTuned out. Just like that car right there.
Oh shoot, it's coming at me.
Boom, man, we're at O'Reilly's.
That's pretty cool though. Like, we just have an O'Reilly's like right next door, which is kind of bad because we spend so much money at it, but
it's very convenient for a car shop, huh?
Sir. Hey, what is this? Cleans the surfaces. Vertical surfaces. I don't know if we have any vertical surfaces. Is this the gel you were talking about?
No, it's like a little spray gel. Works pretty good.
Oh,
well, you don't want anything too strong.
Well, I could just get this and then just grab some brushes and just wipe it all on, and rust dissolver. Wear rubber gloves, scrape loose. Yeah, I think it'll work, and it's pretty cheap, 10 bucks for some rust remover.
Yeah,
it's not bad. And then we also will grab some, probably grab some of this etching primer, so that after we get rid of all the rust, we can just spray it in.
Because it is strong, it might eat it out like the paint.
Yeah. Well, it is. It only had all the body panels actually have a weld-through primer on it, which is kind of weak. But we'll go ahead and spray some etching primer on most of the parts. 66 Mustang.
Think there are windshield wipers for your Mustang up here?
I mean, they might. Let's see. What is it? A Ford? That ain't a stud baker and all that.
Well, Fastback right there. All right.
Oh shoot! I mean, now we know we have wipers.
Let's go. You're gonna paint a house with these brothers? They're gonna buy a little one.
That's what he used to paint y'all cars with now.
Nah, there's a little one. There's a little 1-incher right there. We are back. We got the Red Bull ski. We got a Jeep right here. It's got a little damage in the back. We just got back from O'Reilly's and we went ahead and picked up some of this rust dissolver gel, and we also got some paint brushes. But before we apply any on the car, I want to grab an air blower right here and pretty much just blow off all the loose pieces of rust or anything like that, and we can start applying the gel. guys, it's been like 15 minutes. We went ahead and washed all the rust off, and that stuff actually works amazing. So if you ever have any rust on your car, just go to your local O'Reilly's, get some of this stuff. It's super easy to use. Just brush it on, wait 10 minutes, and then wash it off. Now that we have all the rust completely off the car, there is still some slight areas, but we'll work on that later. I just wanted to get the majority off so it doesn't continue rusting. Now what we need to do is actually brace the car perfectly. I want to put a brace in the back over here and then a brace in the front, and then we're actually going to line up all the body panels, pretty much get everything ready to weld up. We just got back from the steel store and we picked up some of these metal square tubes right here, and pretty much what I want to do is add one right here, and it's going to hold this whole area together and it won't get in the way of any of our framework build. And we're also going to go ahead and put one back here, probably right here. This is like one of the strongest areas of the car, so let's do some measurements and get it welded in. So we went ahead and welded in these reinforcement bars right here in the back and then one in the front. And I actually did get all the measurements offline. So pretty much now the body is getting held together by two nicely welded things. And I really love how that HTP welds. It welds really good. And now what we're gonna do is start fitting these rear body panels. So guys, this is the next day here at the shop. We did actually off camera, I added some more support. We actually welded this bar in right here and it's actually welded to the frame. And now the car is nice and stable and it's not gonna move forward or backward. And now what I wanna do is go ahead, we're gonna need to start prepping this area right here because I wanna get the quarter panels welded on the car. I wanna get the trunk lid all set up. And we also have this back window we're gonna go ahead and install. And pretty much I wanna get the whole car welded together. So then once we get our new Corvette suspension, then we can start working on that. But I wanna make sure all the quarter panels, all the body panels are lined up perfectly. So the first thing we're actually gonna do is go ahead and prep the inner structure right here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and paint all this with some etching primer because this is just weld through primer. And as you guys know from the rust spots that we were having, it's not rust resistant. So we need to go ahead and paint all this stuff in right here. We'll go ahead and paint this side and paint that side. got pretty much everything painted in the back over here. We hit it with some etching primer so it etches into the metal really good. And then we also just hit it with some of this Rust Tough enamel paint. Sprayed everything in here. Now what we need to do is actually do the same thing to both of the rear quarter panels, get them all prepped, and then we can start prepping them to put them on here. Both quarter panels nice and painted on the backside. Now what we need to do is go to Harbor Freight because I want to get a hole punch. We need to start punching a bunch of holes into this panel right here and all along this edge so we can get it welded onto the body. We just got back from Harbor Freight, and here's the thing I was talking about. It's a hole punch and a flare kit tool. This is going to help a lot because usually you have to drill it, the spot weld holes with a drill, and sometimes it messes it up. So let's go ahead and see if this thing will work. So check that out, it works pretty good. The holes are a little smaller than expected, but I can just weld it in pretty good. Now let's continue doing the whole panel. So we got all the holes punched out, and what's gonna happen here is whenever we put it together, we're basically just gonna weld that up, and it's gonna be like a factory spot weld. Now what I wanna do is go ahead and start lining up both of these quarter panels on the car. clip back together on this car, and let me tell you, it's so much easier working on this stand, and especially that we put all the support bracing, and I went ahead and welded it, and nothing's moving around. Everything is coming along way nicer. The quarter panels line up beautifully. They line up down here good, line up here. Pretty much everything is almost ready to weld, but honestly I want to get the trunk on there, which we are missing one of the hinges, so we have to order one of those. Once we get the trunk lid on here and we have our glass, it's actually sitting right over there. Once we put our glass in here, we can pretty much weld the entire rear of this car together, and the body will be pretty much welded together. So guys, I'm actually super excited about this build now. We're taking it a little bit slower, trying to get more episodes out for you guys, but I'm just taking everything slower, you know, meticulously working everything, trying to get this thing done, because I really want to get it done this time, because last time we were kind of just winging it. I was kind of just messing around because I just jumped in it head first, didn't really know what I was doing. But now that we have all the experience from that, now we're basically going to transfer over this, and I pretty much want to get the whole body welded together. Then our Corvette suspension will be here probably this week. It was shipped out, and then once we get all that, we can go ahead and line up exactly where we want to put the suspension. And the cool thing is, a Corvette is actually 70 inches wide, or 71, and this Mustang is 68. So we might have to do a little bit of wide body just to get that suspension perfectly under this car, and it's pretty much going to handle like a Z06. And it's actually coming with the little frame pieces from the actual car, so it will be definitely a lot easier to connect it to their new frame. So that's gonna be a wrap for today's episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next episode. We will probably have the suspension in, and we'll probably go ahead and weld the entire body together, start working on that suspension, getting everything set up. But if you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a subscribe if you're not already, and also check out vTuned.com, help support the build. We still have a couple of Mustang shirts up there, and also follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching.